Hi, I made it as planned. Yeah, so today, right now, as I'm recording this, not sure when you'll see it, but it is the first day of the Lunar New Year. We have, the new moon is actually moved into Pisces, which may be a little more intuitive for me. The eclipse action, there was a solar eclipse, and although we couldn't see it where I am, I was feeling it. I barely slept last night. It has been a very strange morning to get myself together from the dreams I had while I was asleep and the lack of sleep. And anyway, I did want to bring these two readings to you. And early on, I was feeling Carnelian, and I was really quickly after that feeling Calcite. So those are the two I've chosen and stuck with, and I've let these two marinate with some oracles over the last, I don't know how many weeks, couple weeks or more, and they're there. And I'm not gonna really give you the distinction today between the two groups. They are similar from what I can tell, but a little different. And that's common with me when I do two groups here. Not always, but yeah, this one, there's some similarities. But I'm really just asking about moving forward in this new year, this new energy that we are finding ourselves in. And I'm really optimistic about it. But I chose the Muse Tarot deck based on the fact that I felt this was a Knight of Wands occasion, and this Knight of Inspiration Wands card from the Muse Tarot is fitting, I feel, for the Fire Horse. It's beautiful. I like this deck a lot, and it's gonna work for both. I did get you some Kuan Yin images to go with the Carnelian and honey calcite so that you can, be guided in a little further if you like. There's, I have my reasons. You may or may not help you. And I also have this cup up here, which is for everyone who's here, both groups. And so I'll clear these away and dive into the cup. It's for good fortune coming toward us. Yeah, you don't have to stay for that if you're not into it. And, you're welcome to skip ahead to a reading. If you want to see me stumble through some tea leaves and tarot, here we are. Okay, I'm going to move these. This is one is Carnelian and two is honey calcite. All right. Move this over. Here's the cup. Much more sparse. Oh, they're falling now. It's okay. The leaves are falling down because it's dried out. But yeah, this particular tea is from China, appropriately. It's a black tea from the Fujian Province. It was tasty. And but the leaves were a little they weren't very sticky, I'll say. Like, it was nice though. It was light. I didn't need a whole heavy, amount of stuff. I think I got what I needed. So let me put this here so I can gauge. Okay. If you saw my last reading, the Valentine's reading, I kind of like to pair the symbols I see with tarot. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. So the first thing I saw in the cup was a swan, and the card that I've gotten with that is, I like writing this down, is the star. That's beautiful. It definitely started off on a super optimistic, hopeful, positive, kind of graceful, beautiful note. For me, the swan often represents looking at your own reflection, like in the lake, or some say it's a soulmate thing. You know, maybe you're hoping to find that this year. But that aside, this isn't about anybody else. It's really about you right now. And I will tell you, I may find it and insert it right here. If I don't, I don't. But there was a little painting that I did. Oh, shoot, probably 14, 15 years ago. But it was sort of inspired by the movie The Black Swan. And I thought of that. And the painting that I did and the movie itself, I think if you're into film and if you've seen it, if you think about that type of thing, it really feels like duality within. Like really like it's almost like a good versus evil within, and letting letting go of your shadowy parts, you know, like not letting go, but kind of like moving through it and then being on the other side of that. I don't know. That's just a feeling that I have, but you know, I don't know if that really hits anybody anywhere, if that movie means anything to you, or even Swan Lake Ballet, I suppose. Anyway, the Swan with the Star, definitely speaking about, that was like current energy, kind of start off. And it just feels really like there's a sense of fragility and vulnerability, but like stepping into, gracefully gliding into this new era with a lot of hope. And the overwhelming feeling that I have is sort of like a beauty in strength, like a beauty in who you really are. Like if you think about the ugly duckling story, that was, you know, this little duckling was teased. That little duckling was a swan and turned out to be more beautiful than everyone else. And I think that is one of the main vibes I've gotten, you know, moving into this cup, but also from what I saw of the two groups. So there's a feeling of really coming into who you are this year, of really showcasing that. Okay, moving on. I feel rambly. Like I said, I'm pretty tired, but I'm excited. So whatever that creates, right? Oh, well, I mean, you know, I don't really like cards that fall, but this is fitting. I'll keep it. It's the Three of Wands. Hold on. Oh, that's really beautiful. Okay. So the next thing I saw, it looked like a smoldering matchstick. And I got the feeling that like, okay, the initiation has begun. The fire has been ignited, you know, it's happened, and this is relatively near future. And so this card that fell off was the Three of Wands, which is about envisioning your future and manifestation and setting your intentions and waiting for what's yours to arrive. And then there's the Ten of Cups is what I got when I more intentionally pulled the card. And that's about your bliss and your happiness and what you really want out of all of this. What will fulfill you? What will fill all your cups and just make you feel completed and not just within yourself, but in the bigger picture, like finding kind of where you belong, where you fit, what is your contribution, what makes you you in the grand scheme of everyone else in a way that is beneficial for your own health and for everyone else around you. Okay. Okay, the next image was a little more abstract. Let me get to it. Okay. So what I was seeing was kind of like, it felt like people reaching toward each other, or figures reaching toward each other. And one was like in a boat and one was in the water. And it didn't feel as much like a lifeline as it might sound. It felt like this overarching reach is what I noted. It felt like reaching people. It felt like mattering. It felt to me like being on both sides of that, being reached out to and reaching out to help, reaching out to offer, give, extension, you know. And then there was, on the receiving side of that, like being able to take, you know, that can be difficult. I know, like that, being able to receive, being able to let others give you a hand. And basically there's this sense of, when I said overarching reach, it's this feeling of really needing each other to make things work, needing others to balance things out, contributing and being given to. Like it's a very symbiotic relationship kind of vibe. And I have the Fool here, which is the new beginning. It's the whole new journey, the new chapter, the taking the leap into the unknown is a typical thing that can be said of the Fool. It's fiery energy, it's the Aries, it's the spring. We're not in spring yet, but it's the Lunar New Year. It's definitely a 0. It's back at the beginning. And I mean, isn't that cute? On the card, there's a open hand and something dropping down from the sky. Yeah, I think there's a really nice, receptive energy coming in for us, and it's also reciprocal. It's giving and receiving. It's fruitful and abundant in that way. It's sharing, it's caring, you know. So I think there's going to be some of that. It could be, you know, I don't see anything right here that's saying community, but my mind wants me to think of that because of everything that's going on politically and socially in the world. There's certainly nobody can do this alone kind of feeling. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. All right, let me get into the final part of this cup, which is wow. Are these all, wow. This is 3 majors. This is the Hermit, Death, and Temperance. This is, let me just break it down like this. This is soul searching, transformation, and healing. Okay. I feel, personally, I feel that is energy that is already kind of happened. And if it didn't happen to you in the year of the snake, maybe this is just a level up for some, but it could be that your timeline is a little different and you could find this sort of healing and this sort of transformation and really coming into like who you are, like a rebirth from the depths, this healed, balanced version of yourself. But so to get to what I saw in the cup, I do want a little bit more because these are majors, and that to me speaks of a very serious spiritual guidance, a very serious alchemical shift, you know. But what I saw was 2 people walking together, And it felt like a big person and a little person. And I felt guidance. I felt teaching. I felt a cycle, something that is cyclical. Something like, okay, this could be, now this is kind of like the outcome of this period, of this year, of this lunar year, and the great takeaway. It could be like an adult guiding a child, you know, like being a teacher, being a mentor. It could be spiritual guidance to you, you know, like, or but more than that, it's like the cyclical nature of teaching and guiding and mentoring. Like, what happens when you do that? When your higher self teaches you something, and then you in turn teach that to someone else, and then they teach that to someone else, and we pass this this beautiful energy of healing and getting humanity right, like, essentially, is how I feel about it. Like, that is what I really kind of felt. It's a big thing. I'll just add this little thing because it may be relevant, but it did come to my mind. I don't know what it is with me and the personal stories. So the job that I just shifted out of, I've been teaching preschool, which I did back in the 90s, and I came back to it because it fit with being a mother. I just left and became, I'm a substitute now, so that I have more time to do creative things. But when I went back into teaching, after a couple decades of not, I was doing other things, I really wanted to psych myself up and think about why it was good that I would be working with kids again, what I wanted to share, what it meant to me, what it did for me, because I have a lot of gratitude around my experience in my 20s working with kids. I felt like I grew exponentially. I felt like I learned about myself. I learned about people. I learned about taking care of people. My own kids, when they came, I felt more ready. Like, there's a lot involved that I felt I learned and grew from working with kids back then, in my 20s. And then when I went back into it a few years ago, I thought about it, and I really got these strong hits about what I learned. I thought about my two favorite teachers and what I learned from them. And I'll just tell you, one was my piano teacher, who happened to be from China. And from her, I felt like I learned about heart. I felt like I learned something abstract, but it was just like, it was about the healing nature of music. It was about loving what you do. It was about heart. It was about sharing. It was about being gentle and patient. And it was calm and peaceful and different from anything I'd ever felt before. And I just felt she was so beautiful. You know, she was unlike anyone and so beautiful. And I took away from her something very mystical. And that may sound a little bit vague, but what I'm driving at is she had a huge impact on me. And in turn, later, that made me want to have that kind of impact on others, you know? And then the second teacher that I thought of was my English teacher for both 8th and 9th grade. She was brilliant. She was unlike other teachers. She spoke to us like we understood, like we had real feelings. We weren't just kids. And we covered everything we covered in her class. She knew so well, you know, whether it was Animal Farm, where she totally understood the Russian Revolution, or Edgar Allan Poe. Like, everything we studied in her class, the Odyssey, these are still my favorite pieces of work, of literature, like Romeo and Juliet, you know, like we did my favorite stuff in her class, her 2 years being with her. And she really saw us as people, as humans, you know, not just as teenagers or kids. And she saw our strengths, and she had been through so much, and she always shared her personal stories with us. She had had a son who was a hemophiliac and had had a really hard life, because if he just hurt himself, he could bleed to death, and he had a lot of blood transfusions, which in turn gave him HIV to AIDS, and he died. And she suffered so much in her life. She saw so much and experienced so much pain and grief and loss, and she would still come in and wanted to help kids individually. There was a girl who needed a place to stay, and she took her there. I was so awkward and weird, and she made me feel seen in a way that no one else did ever, for what she knew about my brain, because of things she knew about my work and my test scores and all that stuff. So like, it was very impressionable to me. Like she was someone who had been through so much, and yet had so much to give, and was so real. And I thought of her as like, she taught me about being a warrior, you know? So that is such a long rant. And, you know, the point is, I feel that you and we, you know, by the end of this year, may have really fulfilled a cycle of being able to guide and teach from where we come, you know, like what it is we bring, and sharing that in a way that actually shapes this reality and existence that we have between us all. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm not sure what more cards I could need. That I don't know how I went off. I don't know where I am right now. Yeah, I'm with you. It's the Three of Cups. Like, we're just here. We're just doing this. We're just doing this. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. This isn't, I'm not a surface level person or reader, so, you know, I will also say this, like, I'm fully aware that I attract some really, really awesome people, and so I appreciate you. Thank you. And, you know, I don't know. We're gonna be all right, right? Okay, let me close this out, this part of the day, with this great message of good fortune to come. That is good fortune, and it is like giving and receiving, like I said earlier. There's Queen of Pentacles, which kind of fell, but it's certainly a nurturing, teaching energy. And a King of Swords. Look, you know, both of these hands are receiving. A lot of these have hands that are, you know, doing things, but like, you know, if this is the end here and these are energies that we're going to find ourselves in, the Queen of Pentacles nurtures and takes care and is grounded in a safe place. And that's us being in that. And then we're also in this, the King of Swords, like understands right from wrong, understands what needs to be done, is able to execute these decisions and, you know, with clarity. So I don't know, I'm gonna just leave that there because I feel like I got a lot. And there is a Six of Wands on the bottom, which could point to recognition and respect in what you do, but it also to me can feel like satisfaction. All right, wow, everyone, that's heavy. I'm super emotional today. I had some really catastrophic dreams, but I'm okay. All right, let me move on, and I'll be right back with the next reading. Hello to everyone who chose the Carnelian, the first group mentioned. I'll go over these briefly and get into the reading. I guess the main idea for today is just kind of what you need to know, what's happening in your energy this lunar year. Like, where's your power? What's changing? What's some important information? I should probably clarify my questions. So yeah, we have this Kuan Yin card. Both of the Kuan Yin cards were lotus related. This says it takes courage to trust your inner light, to ascend the throne of your own inner spiritual authority, especially if the light of others around you seems more powerful than your own at times. You are being asked to trust the light within above all. Have faith in your own heart. Know that the divine dwells within, is with you always. All right. Lovely. I'm gonna keep this here because, it seems right. We have the Forest. This particular card is about the journey. It's about going into the depths and the darkness of yourself, of your own ideas, of your dreams, your thoughts, the mystery that is inside you. This is where inspiration and healing lie. And I feel this is really nice. This is probably speaking of having been here or being here now, and maybe for some moving into this, but it's definitely a good place, even though it may seem a little scary. It seems a little tricky, to navigate your own darkness and to confront your own fears and pre-existing ideas about who you are and where you are in this world. I feel, though, that there's a sense of, in this darkness, finding answers. And which brings me to, you have the Bat from this cute deck. So the Bat is about listening and waiting for messages, answers, information in the dark. Bats can't see. They get everything sonically. And just for, I have a bat. This is my receiving hand, the left hand. This is receiving that information. Is deeply intuitive. So, you may be hanging out, waiting in the dark for the light, waiting for the green light is more like what it feels like, like more like the specific details of what's next for you, like, kind of like wading through your own murkiness, if you will. And then, I don't know, let's put that here. And Illumination. This was actually the first card that I pulled for the Carnelian 2 or 3 weeks ago. This Illumination with the Force and the Bat, this is light being shed upon your situation. It's greatness, it's like an aha moment, It's certainly related to a new beginning. We have this butterfly here, but there's a feeling of like sudden insight, like aha, like things just click, like the light comes on, the sun comes up, the ideas and everything that you've been kind of like patiently waiting to receive is coming. It's really illumination. It's really understanding what it is you need to understand. It's like really having a grasp on what that is, what's happening, what you need, what you want, what you're doing, where you're going, the whole deal. All right. So these are really beautiful, and really set the stage here for the types of questions I should probably figure out. Okay. All right. for the... No, you didn't. Look what just tried to pop out. It's the Knight of Inspiration of this deck, the Knight of Wands. That was our original card. Yeah, here we go. It's happening. It's happening. Did you see Bridesmaids? That's not even funny. It's happening. Not that, but this. Okay. If you didn't see it, then you don't know what I'm talking about, and it probably sounds silly, but it's pretty funny. All right. I'm gonna give it a little bit more. Hold on, let me get serious. Hold on. Carnelian. All right. Tell me a little bit about the current energy of people who chose Carnelian here. Knight of Cups. This feels like wishful thinking. Knights are movement, though. It's a creative, romantic movement. It could be a gesture, but I think it's like more like I'm in the mood for love. You know what I mean? You might be in the mood for love, but definitely also like feeling well. Doesn't always tie to the Knight of Cups, but I did get this feeling of kind of like it's flirtatious and it's a little bit coy, a little bit forward, a little special, feeling special, making someone else feel special. I don't know. Current energy for this particular group with the Carnelian. More about current. Where are they currently? And we have an Ace of Pentacles. Trying to get it started. And yeah, trying to get it started. Trying to begin this new thing. How you want it, how you would like for it to be, wanting something lasting to be happening. It could be, you know, relationship and love type stuff, but I mean that's for sure. But there's definitely just a feeling of like wanting something, wanting to pull something from fantasy to reality. Okay, so okay, yeah, like waiting for that inspiration, waiting for that clear, that all clear, that like I heard the what is that? Is it a gun? I don't know what that thing is where they shoot when it's like at the beginning of the race, it's like go. Okay, hold on. But like I said, I really feel this could be in any area of your life. It could be, for some, it could be love and romance, like really wanting to get something, pull something from fantasy to reality and make it solid, make it happen, make it real, or a dream, a goal, a plan, something you've aspired to do for a long time, maybe maybe a very long time, maybe a childhood dream even. I don't know. I just keep looking at, I have a lot of things to look at. You haven't seen where I am, but my entire house is pretty much an altar. And where I am right now, where I sit a lot to do a lot of the readings I do, there's so many things I could be looking at, but I keep seeing, I have this unicorn sun catcher. I'll show you. I've had it since the 80s. I've had it since I was a kid. I was obsessed with unicorns. And I keep seeing this. And it does look like this card, kind of. But this makes me think about being in that obsession with unicorns. Like, I genuinely felt that if I could find that forest, that enchanted forest, that I could find the unicorn. And I think this just speaks about like a really old dream or wish that you want to bring to life. Bring it here. Okay. What's coming next? What's some emerging energy? Fun or no fun? What's next? What's next? What's next with my shuffling? What's next for the people who chose Carnelian? What's next for the people who chose Carnelian? Okay, we have a Six of Swords. That's beautiful. Oh, that's moving on to better everything. Is moving forward. It's Six of Swords. It's having a better attitude, having a better outlook. It's taking the necessary steps to get from what may have been like Five of Swords, conflict, stuckness, like just mental blockage. You know, it could very much be like becoming unblocked creatively. It could be resolving an issue in a relationship or in your love life in general. It's definitely good. Okay. And we don't want to say things are good or bad, because there's good and bad, and there's, but I think the Six of Swords is a lovely card. And it also can speak to travel and movement. So that could be something. If you know me, you know I'm not a fan of like flying cards. But already today there's been some stuff that came out that felt right. And this King of Wands hit the floor and came out. And that's the firepower. And I just felt it was necessary to mention that it's really just standing in your power. Okay. Emerging. What's emerging, please? We have a Four of Swords. Especially in this deck, I see this Four of Swords as self-healing. It's taking the time to smell the roses and just linger in your own. It's like, like on this card, like Four of Swords is typically like a pause, a rest, it's like sometimes even sleeping. But in this card, I've always loved this. She's like in a bath with like rose petals, and her eyes are closed, but like the beams of light are coming out, and it's just really dreamy. And it just reminds me of it all. This particular deck, this Four of Swords, always feels like taking a beat, like taking it, just like chilling for a sec and like catching your breath and like being like, I'm good. Like really like feeling yourself, and in a calm, beautiful way, like in a like, I got this kind of way. Like, and not like, I got this, like a Nine of Wands or something, like I've been through everything and I'm strong. It's like, I got this, like I'm moving forward. I got this. It's very positive energy coming in for emergent. All right. Let's see. Could I have one more for emergent? Let's address the messages that we have coming down here. What kind of messages are coming in? There's illumination, there's bat, there's force, there's darkness. This is illumination in the darkness. The bat is in the darkness. What kind of messages are coming from this darkness? I mean, technically it could be right here, You know, she's like, it looks like dusky, you know, the coloring and everything. Okay. Not to be like literal about the art on cards, but okay. Yeah, this is the 8 of voices here, but swords. So it's being a bit stuck, which would indicate like why you're trying to move from, you know, something that felt like I said, like a creative block, into feeling like, all right, I got this. I can actually do this thing that I want to do. As far as like messages, why is the 8 of Swords here for the messages that you're gonna receive? I have an Emperor. Okay. I think you may be beginning to get messages, to understand that your personal power and your authority over your own life, like that which you can manage and control, is it's really more a state of mind than a circumstance, luck. I mean, because trust me, I understand circumstance weighing you down, but I really get the sense here that you have a lot of ability to overcome mental obstacles that may appear to you, you know, it's like, do you want to make a mountain out of a molehill kind of vibe? Like, I feel like you can overcome, as far as messages you're going to be receiving in the dark, it's that you have the ability to receive these messages, and you have the ability to move from where you are, anything that feels kind of like I said, that 5 of Swords, like stuck. You're in control more than you've kind of realized or given yourself credit for, and something's going to help you see that. What's going to help you see that? I have the Wheel. I mean, the Wheel of Fortune is just, who knows? It's just destiny. It's just the right time, right place. It's just, it is luck. It is Jupiter. It is expansion. It is time. It is you really just traveling around that circle of anything, of being here, but of doubt, of like, even if you're doubting yourself, there's gonna be an upswing, and then there's gonna be belief in yourself. Like, there's just, the wheel keeps on spinning, it keeps on turning, and anything that has been challenging can't stay challenging forever if you harness the power that you hold within to overcome it. And I feel like there's something that I cannot name that is a major arcana card, the Wheel of Fortune, something that is just destined to help you shake awake, like help you see, you know, your way forward, help you heal yourself. Anything else about messages in the darkness coming in? Messages coming in for Carnelian that will help move forward. I have a Page of Inspiration, Page of Wands. That's a spark. That reminds me of the matchstick from the tea reading that was for all of us. It's just a spark. Where does a spark come from? It comes from within. Oh my goodness. And then down on the floor, since we seem to be doing that today, I have Awakening, which is Judgment, and the Two of Cups. You know, I'll just leave that. If you know what the Two of Cups is, that's like a soul bond, and then the Awakening is, I love that they call it the Awakening. It's radical, kind of like awareness, you know. So with the Page of Inspiration, to see Awakening, I don't know. Could it be related to a love relationship? Possibly. I'm not going to say that's for everyone. But anyway, more about this Page of Wands for a page is a message. So there's a message of inspiration coming. What is this? Can I know anything more about what type of message? We see what type of message it is, but what it could be. Another message. It's the message of materials here, Pentacles. You know, this one could be something you want to learn. You could be inspired to learn something. You could be inspired to grow something. You could be inspired to do something different regarding your health, your home. Yeah, there's something. I feel like these both relate to this change, that Six of Wands that we saw. So there's it's crazy that I'm asking about messages and I have 2 pages. And it's fire and earth, which to me, if you know, is magic, and like it's just where things go. It's bringing them, you know, if the fire is the inspiration and the earth is the groundedness, the reality, the material of it, then, you know, it's bringing, like I said up here, bringing something from fantasy to reality, grounding it, planting it. And then if these are messages about such a thing, it's information. It may be the wheel. Like I can't say what it would be, but anything else about these messages of how is what I feel. How you'll get insight from within. How. And this the sun. I mean, it's the the sun, illumination. That is exactly right. The sun, illumination, the dawning, the aurora, dusk to dawn, the dawn. You know, we're having, you know, the awakening, a realization. This is really just, oh my God, the sun and illumination are the same thing. Like, it's just like really, everything becoming clear. The light comes on, you know, there it is. Wow. I don't know. I don't think I can say. It is general. And even if this wasn't general, some things I'm really learning to accept that you just can't be told through divination, like what specifically, what the specific detail of a message might be or anything like that. What's something we can know about? Let's see. Okay. What's something we can know about turning this light, this illumination into, you know, the world where we are? Like, what's something we can know about bringing things from dream to reality, about shaping our worlds? It's something we can know. I have the Chariot, and I just really get the feeling of like victory is just, what's the word? Wow. The word is not coming. It is in my mind and I can't find it in my words. Victory is imminent. That might be it. Yeah, there's like a really powerful forward movement, a really, you know, even if you look at this card, like there's heart, look at all those horses, you're the horse. And victory is the Chariot. This is like glory, you know, I think, but it's movement, you know, so like, I feel like, I can't remember the question, like moving, how this is going to happen. I just don't think it can not happen. I mean, you have the sun and the Chariot beside each other and their illumination. Like, I just feel like it's just about harnessing all that power and all that energy and just running with it and just owning it and knowing it and feeling it, just confidence and clarity and a drive and an ambition that has been sort of toggled awake, you know? That's a feeling. How? Well, and there's the Knight of materials, which is the builder, the steady, the determined, the ambitious. It's a mindset. You know, the Knight it is a movement, and it's steady, but it's also like a mindset, I feel, here with the materials. Like it's the pentacles, you know, like it's like really building in a very conscientious and intentional way. Gosh, there's such a beautiful, victorious feeling. And so much pride. There's a lot of pride. Looking over the year, this next lunar year, the year of the fire horse, for the people who chose Carnelian, what else can they expect this year? What else can the people who chose Carnelian expect? All right. I have the Eight of Cups. After I dropped a Seven of Wands and an Empress. Oh. Well, I think you can expect to release certain, tear down certain walls that you have maybe put up over time, that were blocking your own abundance. I think that you can expect to dissolve a certain sort of automatic defensiveness, I want to say, that may have been keeping what you really want and need like just out of reach. Like you can see it, but you can almost taste it, but you haven't been able to get your hands on it. And I feel like this feels like some self-imposed blockage, which I've seen in other parts of the reading, like here, these eights, Eight of Cups, Eight of Swords. Yeah, that's what that message is, though. All right, and what's another thing people who chose Carnelian here today can expect this year? The year of the fire horse. It's not coming. The hit isn't coming. They're like, how much more do you need? Oh my God. Anything? Okay. Well, anything about this, about dissolving the walls? Justice. And the Ace of Swords. Wow. Wow. It's just an inevitable truth. It's just your time. It's just about kind of like knowing you deserve what you deserve. Like really believing that. Knowing it is not just like wanting. It's not just hoping. It's not just wondering or thinking. It's knowing and believing that you know, what is fair, what you've worked for, what is right, what for you, what is just, you know, what is deserved. Oh, there's a King of Cups. That's you being in a very regulated emotional state. Really just grown ass. You know what I mean? Well, people, I don't know how much more we want to dig, because you've got a really beautiful pile of cards here. I would say spread, but I haven't really spread very far. I just have a small table in this room. Anything to close? Any last message? Any last message that I can tell the people who chose this? Carnelian. Don't be afraid to, don't be afraid to get, what's the word? Honestly, I was going to say, like, don't be afraid to get curious about, like, your wounds, you know, like, don't, like, ask yourself down there in the forest, like, ask yourself, like, process, like, who, what, where, when, how, why of, you know, Three of Swords, like heartbreaks, loss, and grief. Like, think about these things that have hurt you or held you back, and why. And furthermore, be in the Queen of Pentacles, which we saw in the Cup. Did I not? I don't know if I wrote it. Oh, I stopped writing it on the other card. It was in the Cup, in the very end of the Cup reading. It's just taking that care and nurturing and teaching and preparing for, it's preparing for you know, a life well lived. Like, I just really get this feeling, like, on one hand I get the feeling like to some it may be to something about therapy. I don't want to dive into that too much because I don't know. But, like, there's just a strong feeling here of, there's a self-healing vibe all over this whole read. And I feel that answering questions about your own self, like what has made you tick, you may be at an opportune time to, like, understand and have a, where was that? The illumination, like having a grasp, like, oh, okay. It's like finally having an understanding about what makes you tick, about what held you back, about the walls you put up and why, maybe on another level. Like, it's very easy to, for example, say, I am this way. I am afraid someone's going to leave me because I have this fear of abandonment because such and such happened. Like, it's easy to, like, piece together, like, how we are in a relationship or over repeated behaviors in relationships because of, like, relationships we've had with our parents and stuff like that. It's easy to piece things together in that therapeutic kind of way. And a lot of us here, a lot of people who are going to come to me have already done some thinking about it. But this is, like, telling me that there's, like, this grasp and this, like, ownership and understanding in a new way, the ways in which you have placed protection around yourself, and how exactly to soften in a way. Like, you know, that's what I get. That's what I get. That's what I get. And I think this is beautiful. I think this is promising. I think this is hopeful. And I think you're going to have a great year. And without even getting into the second reading, I think they are too. I think we all are. I hope you can feel that. And I hope this gave you some insight. All right. Bye. Hello to the people who chose honey calcite. All right. Put that there. Did I read this? I don't think so. I'm gonna read it now. I think I just mentioned in the other that both of these cards have lotuses on them and are related. The message is related to lotus, which I think is appropriate. I'm just gonna read this. We'll just leave it. Shining lotus. There are times when it makes sense to be discreet until you find your inner strength, so that you feel empowered enough to share your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs without wavering, even in the face of challenge. At other times, we are ready to take a risk and allow the inner lotus blossom of our true self to shine forth for all to behold. Okay? Shining lotus. Kuan Yin. Putting her up here. All right. So you have the crossroads. This is about, you know, being in a crossroads, having a choice, having different possibilities ahead of you. It can be a beginning and an end at the same time. Like, see, there's an Ouroboros. There is a lot of, it's powerful. You know, I think of like Robert Johnson at the crossroads, you know, like this fable of this blues legend who sold his soul to the devil, you know, for this talent or whatever. Like, there's a potency, there's like a mystique attached to being at a crossroad, because anything's possible, right? It's about change, and it's about what's next, and it's about opportunity, and it's like just really kind of deciding which way to go. I'm gonna put that here. We have the star. This particular star card is about renewal, inspiration, hope, of course, is always with the star, and there's an element of vulnerability, which is like the flip side of being a star. You know what I mean? Like, if you think of like stars, like celebrities and stuff, there's a vulnerable aspect to them shining and becoming open for the world to see and judge. I feel like that's relevant to say. So yeah, just from that alone, I remember when I got these it's been 2 or 3 weeks, I remember thinking like, somebody here is really ready to excel, really ready to move into a place of, I mean, stardom is relative, but yeah, like for real. And then there's emerge. You know, emerge is coming out of the cocoon and having gone through this transformation and really spreading your wings and showing off your beautiful, your wings and your color and like who you are. It's about having that confidence to make that move, like go through here. It's about honoring your what makes you you know, what makes you unique, you know, what makes, I mean, every star is unique and had its own birth. If you think of astronomy out there in space, every star was born, so to speak, and they glow from that creation. And I don't think that's very far from possibly what our consciousness is. Try not to go crazy. Is this gonna be a deep one? I hope it's not too deep. I don't like feeling wacky, but yeah. So anyway, there's this idea that you can like assert yourself and feel good about yourself, and really believe in what you have to share and what you want to the world to know and see about you. Maybe finally, you know, compared to other times. All right, I'm gonna leave that there. That's the energy, you know. That's something that I feel is moving through these cards. I didn't talk about Carnelian in the last group, you know, but it fit, and I can't believe I forgot to mention that. But yeah, honey calcite. Not surprising that this kind of energy would show up. Honey calcite is very supportive of creation and creativity, and it's actually going to be one of my favorites. I've already decided to work with this coming year, in the year of the fire horse. Something as soothing as honey calcite. Who would think, you know, that it would go so well with the carnelian fire and the fire horse, you know, that like boom, 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 like galloping energy. But yeah, no, it's really great. It's very supportive of creativity. I'll just leave it at that. There's a creative vibe on this one. All right. So the first question, believe me, I did a lot of shuffling between to clear the other reading because I'm using the same deck. But the first question, I'm going to get a pair of cards just to see kind of current energy. What's the current energy of people who chose honey calcite? Current. Oh, I have a Four of Wands. Four of Inspiration. Another card to go here with this Four of Wands for honey calcite for current energy. Oh, beautiful. My goodness. You have a Four of Wands and a Ten of Pentacles. Sometimes I might say what this deck is, but the Wands are inspiration and the Pentacles is materials. But anyway, here we are. Yeah, Four of Wands to me is always about alignment and, you know, I could say synchronicity. However, it's foundational, especially in this case with the Ten of Pentacles. This is about kind of like, if this is your current energy, I'd say like you're really kind of like, it should feel like you're in a relatively comfortable space of understanding what you want at the end of it all, like what you're working toward, like what your home should look and feel like, what your family and health and abundance might look like to you. Like I feel with the Four of Wands, you're kind of like really driving stakes in the ground and setting up this tent where it'll be, I'm just picturing like a construction site, you know, and like they've set up this canopy to it's like a center for like working out everything you're building and around, you know, like oh wow, that's crazy. Like like if you imagine like an old time big top circus or whatever, you know, like they roll into town on train cars or whatever, and you know, set up one tent and kind of coordinate from there and set up the rest of the whole scene or place or spots. And I don't know. I don't want to get too weird on you. I know that's hard for me, but yeah, it's a good place. If you feel like you're in the energy of really getting a handle on what you have in mind for what you would like to see manifest in your life, as far as like home, happiness, health, and abundance goes, maybe even family, then this, you know, that's right. Okay. What's the emerging energy for this group? Oh shit. What is the emerging energy for honey calcite people in this group? Oh my god. Sorry. That was careless. What is the emerging energy here? Wow. I just got thrown off because which I'm not taking this. I just got because I was thinking about something else. I'm asking about emergent energy and you literally have this card emerge. Wow. I didn't put that together. Emergent energy is a question I ask all the time in readings. And I didn't really think about that. But anyway, yeah. Cool. What is emerging for this group? And as far as like the card that I got, I wasn't focused on my question. I was in that instant that card came out, I don't want to get into what it was, but it was what my mind was doing is the thing. Don't worry about it. Anyway, emergent energy for this group. What is emerging in this Lunar New Year, the year of the horse? What is headed this way? We have a Two of Swords. There's a choice. What's that about? Okay. Five of Swords. So you got a Two of Swords and a Five of Swords. I get this feeling of like, I just heard like cure for what ails ya. Like it feels like really kind of trying to decipher what has to go, kind of. Like you may have to eliminate some, I'll say negative, pessimistic energy, negative energy. It doesn't feel like evil, but I want to say like malfunctional, dysfunctional. It doesn't feel like it's in you, even though a lot of times this is internal stuff. I think it may feel more internal. You may need to leave a job. You may need to leave a relationship. You may have to make a decision about cutting something out that is not helping you right now. Like not helping you get here. And really kind of like having to like feel firm in that. Let's see. Or what else? I just need a little more on this. Why do we have a Two of Swords and a Five of Swords? What's the Two of Swords and Five of Swords? Yeah. It's okay. There's a Three of Wands. It has to do with like what you're wanting to happen. So yeah, like I said, it's a decision about, okay, some time management here I'm getting. There's definitely, if these are internal, which they often are, I get the feeling it has to do with kind of like focus and discipline and time management. You know, this is something that you yourself can control. So you just kind of have to set your mind to it, is the vibe that I'm getting out of these. Well, that was a long way around to that message. What else is emerging? Emerging for people who chose honey calcite. Oh, I'm a little clumsier with this same deck. Sometimes you can blame the deck, but it's the second reading of the same deck. For this reading, I'm feeling a little more clumsy. Let's see. We have an Ace of Wands. That's good. That's a nice, that's like a oomph to me. That's like that's a stroke of inspiration. That's like, whether it comes from within or someone offers it to you, it's like this like magic stick, you know? It's like, aha, I can do this. It's like realizing you can do something. 3 of Pentacles. This is collaborative energy. There may be someone or people, a group of people who help you along with this realization. It feels like a realization, I guess. That you can do something. That it can be done. I want one more on this. Yeah, Magician. Magic wand and the Magician. Okay. Yeah, help from above. As above, so below. There's a whole vibe here. There's something going on here. There's some help. There's help coming from above and around you. The forces are aligning to help you see what you need, you know, what's possible, what you can do, the way forward, the way your intention is kind of worthy of expression. Why do I feel like I'm half in a trance right now? This is crazy. All right. Let me do another question about emergent. What else is going on? What else is coming? We have the world, cosmos. The world, cosmos. A lot of times the world is you know, completion and a chapter ending and stuff like that. But I have always said, to me, the world is everything. It's like, it means literally Roy Orbison. Anything you want, you got it. Like, it really means like, it's all yours. It's Whitney Houston. I'm every woman. It's like everything. Okay. Let me get more about this. 6 of Wands. That's notoriety and respect. That's game. That's recognition. That's like, you want it, you got it. I swear I just said that. This is like, that's crazy. Are you gonna be a star? This is star. Like, star power. You know what I mean? This is somebody who's respected and known for what they do. Oh, that's so awesome. What the fuck? All right. I feel like somebody who gets this is going to ascend to levels of like probably popularity, but certainly success that is so fulfilling and so enabling. You know what I mean? Like, things like money is an enabler. Having a wide voice or platform is an enabler for making things happen, for change. There's a lot of magic. There's a lot of star power. What else? What is happening here with these people? What are you I'm all like thinking about like, yeah, one of the best known Delta blues guitar players ever, Robert Johnson. I was talking about him at the Crossroads selling his soul to the devil. And like, there's a part of me that's like, what kind of deal have you made? What is that song? Oh, Running Up That Hill. I was thinking of Kate Bush. This group is also getting a lot of songs. I usually get a lot of songs. It's not uncommon for me. I don't recall getting songs in the last reading. So there may be like a musical piece to people here. There could be somebody who's like gonna make it musically or whatever. At least produce work you're proud of, very proud of, and people are like, good fucking job, man. I love it. So where was I? Little ADHD in this group. That would speak to this. Focus. What was I asking? I'm not going to stop and go back on the tape. That's not right. Forgive me. I've lost where I was. I'm going to tell you something. While, yes, I do have some ADD, and it's not unheard of for me to lose my train of thought, I did take my medicine. So whatever's going on with you guys, it's not me. It's not just my stuff. Like you might just have a lot you want to do. There's an excited feeling. There's like, I'm getting a lot. As far as like, I just glanced at this emerge card and I swear I saw like a toddler, like just going for it. You know what I mean? Like there's this renewal energy. Where was renewal? All of this, like, oh wow. Yeah, just this like, you know how like toddlers aren't afraid of anything because they haven't learned yet that you can get hurt doing that, you know. No, you can't climb up there, or, you know, or no, you know, like it's like, nah, just try and stop me. I'll do it myself. All right. Okay, good for you. I don't know who I'm dealing with here, but please check in by the end of this year if one of you or any of you become like wildly successful, famous, please. Anyway, I don't say that lightly. I really don't. Okay. More on that, please. Yeah. What is happening? Somebody here is destined for greatness. I don't say things like this. This is crazy. I hope it's me. I hope this is my reading. Okay. All right. So let me tell you what I got here. I was focusing on the way this girl in this star card is like holding her kind of dress open, and there's like this galaxy. It's like this mystery. It's this unknown. It's like, what's out there, you know? And I was kind of asking myself, or, you know, whatever, what, I can't believe my train of thought right now is just gone. I was trying to figure out what is out there. And I got this 3 of Cups, and I got it when I was saying something in particular, and now I can't. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry that I'm so scattered mentally, but this is a lot of energy on this one. A lot is very powerful, overpowering even. But anyway, I got this, like, I think I was talking about star. Wow, I just heard David Bowie. Star quality, and like, it's like, I got the 3 of Cups when I was sort of questioning that. At any rate, whatever I was doing, it got me to thinking about popularity, fame, being well liked, being well loved, being supported, being known, you know. And then to back that up, the Wheel of Fortune and Justice. The Wheel of Fortune, just luck, just destiny, and justice, karma. It just really feels like someone who is destined for, I don't know, to shine, man. Like, to shine in a way that you Maybe you've had a feeling you were meant for more. I don't know if this is, for some, this may be like more than you ever like thought was possible. But for others, it may be exactly what you expected to happen in life. This is crazy. What else can I know about what's going on with this group? All right, there's that Eight of Swords. Let's talk about self-doubt, imposter syndrome. What? These just came down together. I got self-doubt and imposter syndrome with this, and I got a Chariot and a Seven of Cups. I really get the feeling that you can do whatever you want to do. You could choose. Like, here you are at the crossroads, and here's the Seven of Cups. This is the choices, and this is the choices, and you just have to, like, it's Eight of Swords, which I said here was imposter syndrome and self-doubt, and just threw a Chariot on it. You know what I mean? It's like you just have to decide that this is what you're meant for, and this is what you're doing. And I just don't think there's any stopping you once you realize it is your place, and it is your journey, and it is your destiny, and it is fair. It is what you deserve. Like, there's a lot of that here. I genuinely hope this is my reading. It's so good, you guys. Okay. I mean, because that's fair. And I felt that so quick. The imposter syndrome and self-doubt is like, you just squash it. I don't know. How? Okay. Now we have a Seven of Pentacles. A little bit of patience, just a little patience. Guns N' Roses, patience, and okay, yeah. I just got like, well, I got a feeling of like overnight success, and I think because of the context of the reading, I think it means I want to say, because it hasn't happened yet, you know, haven't been sure if it was for you or if you were just like dreaming, you know what I mean? Like, that's the feeling that I get. I want a little more. I really feel like because this could be read to say like, you just have to be patient, but I swear I got like this overnight feeling, and it really feels more like, first of all, it kind of will be overnight success. Like, it kind of will, once it happens, be like, oh my God, it's really happening. But because it hasn't happened thus far, you're kind of like, no. Or maybe you even almost gave up. Like, I don't know. Or maybe you just haven't felt lucky before. Yeah, but this is good. This is the Empress. Why is the Empress here? What are we talking about now? Okay. Yes, okay. Regarding what I was just saying, the Empress versus the Ten of Swords, okay? The Empress is like, I am abundant. I am attracting all of this goodness. I exude beauty. I am about peace and love. Like the Empress is like, I am growing beautiful things, right? And the Ten of Swords is that like ending. It's just like, it can be very painful, but it's just like there's just this feeling here that, regarding what I was saying here, like you just have to embrace your, regardless of what you are, your inner divinity. You know, I wanted to say goddess, but like your inner creatrix, you know what I mean? Like you have to go ahead and accept that that's what you are and that's who you are. And like really squash this idea, all these other ideas. Like I really feel like that's the guidance here that I've been getting moving through this part. It feels right to say that. Yeah. Am I getting everything with that? Because Ten of Swords is intense, but it's time. Maybe, okay, it's time to do that. It's time to push away these self-limiting beliefs and behaviors that you may have had before. I had a feeling to grab that. It's the Queen of Wands. Yeah. With the Empress. Yeah. Yeah. This is, you're a baddie. You know what I mean? Regardless of whether you're whatever. The Queen of Wands is an ultimate manifester. Like, she's attractive. She's charming, alluring. She believes in magic and passionate, very passionate about whatever she is passionate about. Okay. So can I get, I don't know how long this is, can I get like one more thing to say to this group that wanted to come out? Okay, guys. I have a Two of Cups and an Ace of Pentacles. And I have a Knight of Cups on the bottom. I hesitate because I swear promises of love on the YouTube are dime a dozen. Got a Two of Cups and an Ace of Pentacles. This is like looking like the start of a beautiful bond. The start of a real soul connection. I feel that that is possible for you if you want it. And, you know, with the Knight of Cups, it just feels even more so because that is that movement toward romance. And the Ace of Pentacles is a beautiful thing for relationships. It's actually like, it's like bringing this into, you know, grounding and setting it up. It's the beginning. Is the beginning of something real, and this real thing is a spiritual bond. Now, granted, this could be something you love. It doesn't have to be someone. This could be a love relationship for some. It definitely has that vibe. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like to say it, but it does. But also, you know, you can co-create with spirit, and you can find that love in other places and things. And I mean, I for one would be so stoked personally to have that soul connection with my work, with my project, like any given project that I'm trying to do. You know, I told you I left my job. I don't know if I told you. And I'm trying to focus on being more creative and stuff. So like for me, like if this wasn't love and it was about like something I'm doing, the beginning of this beautiful co-creation relationship between me and spirit and this like thing that I'm making, this birthing, this idea or whatever, this creative idea, then that's fantastic. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna go because I feel like this is long and I should probably eat because I'm getting weird. All right, have a great new year. I didn't tell the other group, but you know, I do have a couple more readings planned on deck since I'm not at work every day now. I can do those. If you need anything, let me know.